Okay.
What?
I just love the little duck in the corner.
Powered by StreamYard.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Show of Requirement Harry Potter podcast. Abby, I don't know about you, but whenever I'm getting ready to do a podcast, and I think it's like a ritual or something, I get like all of my drinks set up. So I got like my water. Usually I have my bottle of water that David likes to make jokes about. Your mic's giving us trouble again.
No.
Or in this case, I have my chocolate milk, which is very nice. I don't know what's going on with your mic, but it's okay. It's a day. The powers that be are not with us today.
Is it still bad noise?
No, it's fine.
I'm not going to touch
just saying
anything.
That it happened again, but it's fine.
That's because I moved it. I'm not going to touch it.
So yeah, I'm Spencer. I'm joined by Abby.
I don't have a cup, but I have a vase of water.
So new listeners to the podcast won't know this. Previous people will know that we usually break for the summer for good reason, because all of us get busy. Except for this specific year, I got less busy. But we kind of ran out of time. And so to finish the book, and so David is just not available at all. He's gonzos.
He's not Gonzalez. He's gonzos.
Oh, that's good. Shout out to David though, because he's still editing the podcast. Happy birthday, David. Wherever he is. We know
when
where
is David's actual birthday?
August.
Okay, good to know.
20th.
Cool.
Maybe I shouldn't be saying that on the interwebs, but you know.
His social security number is.
Oh, I do know that. I'm just kidding. So so he's still editing the podcast. So I appreciate that. He's not in the country right now, so we had some technical difficulties. So we're on Spencer's free, powered by StreamYard account. So, sorry.
Yeah, so, no, I did it too.
If this even makes it on YouTube and this looks different than other episodes, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's all good. This nice.
We're bare bones. We are bare bones. We're the skeleton crew right now.
Oh, 100%. 100%. We are the Bad Batch. I'm having to pull all the references. And then Cole's not here this week. So, we're just, Abby and I are going to finish this book, listeners, if it kills us.
Lots of people are going to die by the end of this.
Lots of people are going to die. Maybe Abby and I as well. Next week will just be me.
Just one by one.
One whole
and then there were none.
Just one person. And then there are none. Well, we only have 2 episodes left. So on the plus side of all those things, we are talking about the best parts of the book.
Yeah.
They made a 2-hour movie out of this tiny little section.
That's because there's a lot jam-packed. So
fair enough. So we're finishing Deathly Hallows. We're finishing the read-through. Kind of bittersweet because we've just gone through all of the books. Like it's been a long ride. Mm-hmm. But at the plus side, we're going to be doing fun stuff this fall, including the movie. We got to do the movies. So we're going to be moving away from books. No required readings, except for one.
Yes.
David's going to hate us.
I know.
Anyway,
it's gonna be so
the longtime listeners will know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You can go find. You can find
it's
it.
Gonna be amazing.
There's only one title. There's only 2 episodes on this podcast that have David in the title. Just look for those.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, chapter 26 is Gringotts, and that's through chapter 30, which I can tell you what it is if I can find the table of contents. The Stacking of Severus Snape.
Yeah.
So we're Gringotts through the beginning of the Battle of Hogwarts.
It's almost 100 pages. Not quite, but close.
That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done all the preparation work in our last episode. which was, getting us to Gringotts and planning it all out, and Bill, in an excellent scene that didn't make it to the film,
Sadly.
explained to Harry parts of goblin culture, which I understand why this didn't make it to. You don't need it.
No,
You
but
don't
we
have
like
to.
it.
But we like it. But you don't. You don't need it. And we move to actually leaving Shell Cottage and going to Gringotts. For just one final time. I think this is the last time in the entire series that Polyjuice Potion is used.
I think you're right.
Yeah. It just
did we determine how many different movies used Polyjuice Potion?
Books.
Or books, sorry.
Deathly Hallows twice. Not that it counts about 3 times, but it doesn't count all 3 of those times. Right. Half-Blood Prince didn't use Polyjuice Potion, actually.
Yeah.
Order of the Phoenix did. Gosh, did it?
I don't remember.
I don't think it expressively did, because Nymphadora Tonks doesn't need Polyjuice Potion.
Right.
And she and everyone else kind of they did regular disguises, because it's Moody's stock. Like, he doesn't want to break into it unless he really needs to, right. Which Deathly Hallows was that need. I don't think anyone used it.
I don't remember them using it in Order of the Phoenix off the top of my head. Obviously,
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire for most of it. We just didn't know.
You just had somebody use Polyjuice Potion for that gimmick for an entire book and got away with it.
Yeah, wild. Especially with how many times it started going wrong for Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Like, no wonder. Yeah, how quickly it started going wrong. It's amazing that she went that entire. No wonder she had so much trouble writing Goblet of Fire. Because she had so many things held into place and had to keep Barty Crouch's secret without it being obvious. Prisoner of Azkaban did not.
Nope.
Animagi, different way. And then, of course, Chamber of Secrets.
Yep. Classic.
And not in Sorcerer's Stone.
It's about every other book.
It almost is every other book, yeah. I think they skipped Order of the Phoenix and 5 and 6. Yeah. And 3, 5, and 6. So there you go. I don't know if you wanted that.
Fun facts.
But listen, I'm one of those people that, if I was listening to a Harry Potter podcast, which I have, I have, I'll have you know. But when people bring up things like that, I would think that, how many times has this been used in the series?
Yep.
So there you go. But I was bringing it up because I wanted to express one last time, and they should do this in the reboot that probably will never happen. They should keep the voice of the person they're transforming into. They shouldn't. The movie makes the weird choice of having them have their own voices, which makes no sense, because if they're taking the bodily form, then they're also taking the vocal cords.
Right. And it's magic. You can make magic do whatever you want when you write it.
And it's magic. And I think they were just like, the audiences are going to get confused.
We're smarter than we look.
Some of us are. This could be some of the audience be like, why are we watching these 3?
Yeah.
That was the test audience guy made his appearance on the show of Requirement. You're welcome. He's been a regular character on Fandom Done Right this spring. Where they show, why don't they have their own voices still? Anyway, I liked listening to Jim Dale or imagining Hermione when I read the book of having to use Bellatrix's voice, but then she's taking Hermione's tone.
Yeah. Which doesn't her fit at all.
And you'll be using her actual wand, said Harry, nodding toward a walnut one. So I reckon you'll be pretty convincing. Famous last words. This is the Ministry of Magic plan fell apart pretty badly once they got in, because they didn't plan that far. They're still kids. This one really falls apart so many times.
Yeah.
They basically almost they barely get away.
I mean, but to be fair, they did not have a lot of time to plan for this because they were racing against Voldemort at this
They
point.
kind of spend a lot of time though. It seemed like at least a couple
more
weeks.
time than they have in the past, but still not enough for Gringotts.
Yeah, the ministry planning was longer.
Yeah.
It's an important point where Ron says, it'll probably help you get in character, though. Think of what that wand's done. But that's my point, said Hermione. This is the wand that tortured Neville's mom and dad, and who knows how many other people. This is the wand that killed Sirius.
It's a tough one. Kind of gets you in the gut.
Of course, Mr. Ollivander made Luna a new wand, which is convenient because he didn't do so for Hermione or Harry or Dean. Gotta love Dean. He just doesn't have a wand. He's just a muggle at this point. They have reduced him from muggle-born to muggle.
Yep.
But I love he still gets to the Battle of Hogwarts fight later, and he's like, I just need a wand.
Any wand will do.
But at the same time, the Hawthorne wand, which I think there's a parallels to be said of this same but different between Harry and Draco. And so it makes sense to me, at least, that the wand, Draco's wand, would adjust and adapt to Harry. Like Harry wouldn't have as much trouble with that wand.
Yeah. I also didn't know a ton about wand lore, or I had forgotten about wand lore. I didn't remember that J.K. Rowling used like the Celtic tree calendar or something to assign like who gets what type of wand, like what the wood's made out of, which is very interesting. I looked it up.
Do they always call wands by their... Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
They start with the wood and then they go into inside magic stuff. Because I was thinking about that, I'm thinking through all the wands. Yeah, because Voldemort's is yew. Lucius's is elm. Do I detect elm? Dragon bloodstream. Your hairs are fine, Abby. You're fine.
No, it just made me laugh. I see it every time. I feel like Clark Kent. I need to curl it. Would that be too weird?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't even brush Ida's hair, and she doesn't have much.
Yep.
Grip Hook is so great in the movies, and that's... David would know his name. He plays R2-D2.
Warwick Davis.
Warwick Davis. Warwick Davis plays two characters in Deathly Hallows Part 2.
He does.
And if you think about it too much, they're very similar. But he does play a very good Grip Hook, and he's kind of dark. And the one in the book, Jim Dale's one, has too high pitched of a voice for me.
Yeah.
I love every time we go to Diagon Alley, it's changed over the last couple of years. And so we actually haven't seen Diagon Alley under the Voldemort regime until now, which we did see it in Half-Blood Prince, and it was kind of going there anyway. But yeah, a lot of... They almost dropped the ball entirely with Travers.
Yeah. Well, Hermione like greeting people.
She's like, too nice to this
Good
guy.
morning.
Too mean to this guy. Too mean. Oh no, you need to be nice to this guy. Goodness. Travers is interesting. I mean, I see why we didn't see him in the movies. But I think you could have used any Death Eater. He shows, even on the Death Eater side, that like goblins don't like Death Eaters, and he shows kind of why, because he has the same kind of distaste for them as almost as like house elves.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's like, gold, filthy gold, we can't live without it. Yet I confess I deplore the necessity of consorting with our long-fingered friends.
Well, I'm like, I feel like with Death Eaters or those who side with Voldemort, or even sometimes just pure blood families that kind of fit the Malfoys, if they already don't view like half of the wizarding community as like good enough or as human even or as fellow like wizards, I don't even think they would treat any other type of, creature anywhere near what they are if they're not even willing to consider muggle-born wizards or people.
Yeah, I think the movies didn't and I don't think they really had the ability to, maybe, but they didn't fully express. I think something I forgot was that they knew from pretty much the get-go, from the jump, that something was amiss.
Mm-hmm.
They had been warned that an imposter might come
Yeah.
with Bellatrix's real wand and everything.
Mm-hmm.
In the movie, he kind of just Imperios him, just
Right.
almost like, oh, I have to do it right quick. But this was like, Brick Ripbook's like, no, they know. Like, they've been told. And then, of course, Harry just has to Imperio Travers to come along with them. And I really like when they get inside the door, which is like, they're like, we only have seconds before they come and chase us down. Travers just like walks away and they're like, what'd you tell him to do? And Harry says, hide. It was really weird. And it's like, I don't know. It's tough when we've come to the point, and maybe it's the point in the war, and it's just like the first Wizarding War, where unforgivable curses are now legal. Don't know, but they're being
At least
used.
fair game.
They're fair, yeah, fair game. That's a good way of putting it. Like he's just using Imperio just willy nilly, and then he uses another one. We'll talk about it later.
Is that one of those? What's the term for it? Like in war, like you can get away with some things, like you typically wouldn't be able to.
Not war crimes.
No, I don't remember. But again, like some people are forgiven for the acts that they committed during war because it was like people were stretched to their max and had to do things they wouldn't normally. And so I feel like that's one of those. People will forgive Harry for using one of the 3 curses in order to defeat Voldemort.
Yep. And the waterfall, what do they call it?
Ooh.
The Thief's Downfall.
Yes, the Thief's Downfall.
Really good stuff.
It's a good name.
They have set off, but he says they have set off defenses against us. So it wasn't just always there.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically. I like they did this really well in the movie when they dramatically fall. It feels like an Indiana Jones movie a little bit.
A
little bit. I also always get thrown back to the Wii game. I don't know if you ever played it.
Yeah.
Where it's I don't forget what they call it. Not a turn and shoot, but when you like, it's third person, but when you get behind like a box or something, and then you stand up and shoot. It's just that with wands.
Yep.
Like the wands are just guns.
Yep.
Bang, 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 bang. You should look it up. It's quite entertaining. Poor dragon.
I know. I feel bad for the dragon every time.
They don't really talk about how many burns that they must have gotten.
Yeah, well, honestly, when I was trying to remember this scene, I was thinking back to the movie, and I don't remember them being hot and like burning them, because I just remember them ending up in like a huge wave of goblets.
And there's not a good. I think they did. I think they did talk about it, but there's not a great way to communicate that in movie form.
Short of covering them in blisters, you like can't see what happened.
I personally like that they try the summoning charm every single time.
Knowing that it's probably not going to work, but might as well.
I think it's good. They use Levicorpus,
Mm-hmm.
although
I'm just looking at that.
we've suddenly forgotten that Levicorpus is a nonverbal spell.
Yep. Well, Harry whispered. No.
It's a little oopsies on Rowling's part, but it's fine. I love, and it's I think is it Harry's idea to get on the dragon?
Pointing his wand. Yeah.
Yeah, so it changes a little bit.
Yeah.
In the movie, Steve Kloves, who wrote the screenplays, his favorite character is Hermione. In case you forgot, he has Hermione have the idea of the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Just one last time. Like, for once, can Harry or Ron have an original thought in the movies?
Well, because Hermione's confused. She's like, Harry, what are you doing?
And that makes sense for Hermione's character.
Yeah.
Washington Sentinel, if you want to take it up with somebody on loving Emma Watson too much, it's Steve Kloves.
There you go.
It is.
Good point.
And it's not even Steve Kloves. It's not even Emma Watson. It's just Hermione. But yeah, there's a really cool.
I also don't remember ever having heard the spell before. Defodio. That was a new one.
There's a lot of spells to destroy things.
So she was helping the dragon enlarge the passageway.
Yep. They haven't come out with the illustrated edition yet, and we need to get moving on. But
yep.
There is a really cool image that was for something of the dragon flying across London over like the little London houses with the chimney tops. Mm-hmm. It's really cool. I don't remember where it comes from, but it's up there. Probably Pottermore.
Probably.
Chapter 27, the final hiding place.
The first few pages, they're just riding the dragon.
Yep. Can you check your mic again? It's okay. Yeah. They're kind of screwed because they have the cup, but they don't have anything to destroy it with. I love that Hermione's like, what'll happen to it, do you think? Will it be all right? And Ron's like, you sound like Hagrid. It's a dragon, Hermione. It can look after itself. It's us we need to worry about. What do you mean? And then he says, well, I don't know how to break this to you, but I think they might have noticed we broke into Gringotts. It's one of Ron's best jokes.
And I love the adrenaline laughing right afterwards. Is they're kind of, I can't believe we just did this and we survived type.
But they also just flew a dragon for 8 hours.
Yes.
I like the movie, even though the movie takes this whole section into 4 minutes or less, or 2 minutes. But Harry's coming up from the water, and Voldemort is at Gringotts and sees Harry out, but he doesn't know where Harry is. And I just thought that was cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
There's no two-way connection in the book. It's just Harry noticing Voldemort, because they established why that is, but still. And since we need to finish the plot of the book, Voldemort just conveniently thinks about all of the places of the Horcruxes. A little quick summary for us and for Harry. Oh, by the way, there is one at Hogwarts. And so that's really it's such a short chapter, actually.
Yeah, and not a lot happened, except for and it was important for us to see Voldemort, but other than that, short chapter.
Hermione's like, wait, we don't have a plan. I'm like, when have you had a plan that worked anyway? That you didn't have to change on the fly.
Right. Flexibility.
The Missing Mirrors, chapter 28, and I think there's some stuff you can kind of breeze past, because the part that we all care about is Aberforth.
Oh yeah. Basically they arrive in Hogsmeade, set off the alarm, Aberforth ushers them in.
And I don't say this very often, Abby, but probably my favorite casting, just perfect casting all over, with Fantastic Beasts and the Harry Potter series, is Aberforth. For such a short-lived character, it's so well done on both sides of it.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Secrets of Dumbledore, listeners, just see it. It won't kill you. It's free on Max, and it's not bad. It's pretty good.
What doesn't
We
kill
enjoyed
you makes
it.
you stronger.
We enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and it gives you a lot of fun stuff, like a weird plot involving a horse, and fun character moments. And there's a lot of fun character moments, despite the plot being not everybody's favorite thing. Just see it. Just see it.
Lots of suitcases.
Lots of suitcases. Not many secrets of Dumbledore.
No. But some good old Bunty.
A little bit of Bunty. Some good old Bunty. Hasn't David changed his opinion on Bunty something?
I think like a little bit. Yeah.
I think David
he's come around.
David just loves plot twists.
Yeah, he's
because he's now anti-Luna, pro Bunty.
He just has to have a hot take.
He has to have an antagonist. He has to have a Darth Vader. He has to have a Darth Vader to his.
But you know what? He can't say anything because he won't be back.
All right, is that what we're doing?
No, sorry, David. Happy birthday. We love you.
I like that we've seen Aberforth so many times in the series as the barman, and we've just now putting 2 and 2 together when he brings them in. That who says he's Aberforth?
Oh gosh.
Harry says, "You're Aberforth," said Harry to the man's back. He neither confirmed nor denied it.
Harry just knows.
I love Aberforth. He's so it's perfectly done in the movie too. Oh, Dumbledore left you a job. Was it easy? Something general for a 17-year-old to do. He's like, I've got to. He's like, why have you got to? He's dead, isn't he? Let it go. Save yourself. I don't. Abby, I might be pulling straws here. I don't think there's a lot of religious parallels in Harry Potter, but this gives serpent vibes. Like, what did he really mean when he said you've got to do this?
Did he really say?
Did he really? It gives. Did he really say? I
mean, just a little bit. You're right.
Just a little bit. I just like Aberforth's like.
But
so gruff and so rude.
Harry did what Eve should have done.
Yes.
Which was kill the snake. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't kill the snake. Neville does.
No, Neville does.
Harry says Elphius Doge mentioned her to us. That old Burke. But yeah, then Aberforth just tells the entire story of Ariana.
Which is honestly a very tragic story. Their whole family really just had a tragic growing up experience.
Well, and we finally get the truth of all of the situation where...
Instead of the rumors and the gossip.
And for listeners who don't remember, Ariana was attacked by 3 Muggle boys. They saw her doing magic. They tried to force more magic out of her, and there's like a psychological breakdown. And it was this is the early 1900s. No, late 1800s. And so it's just a very different time. And so there's not much you can do in society with a kid that's broken like that. It's a really sad story.
Yeah.
There's so many moments of this whole thing. My father went after the bastards that did it and attacked them. talks about how she was never the same again. I was her favorite, he said. And as he said it, a grubby schoolboy seemed to look out through Aberforth's wrinkles and tangled beard. Not Albus. He didn't want to be bothered with her.
Mm-mm.
And she accidentally kills the mom while he's at school.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like you can kind of see that Aberforth puts himself on this other path of life because he doesn't seem to value school because he values Ariana. And so
Mm-hmm.
the job that he gets is not, I feel like, is almost a part of that path. Like he's just doesn't hold school or victories or any of that through high esteem. He just feels like the one who survived.
Yeah.
Like he feels like, I don't know. He feels survivor's guilt in a way, which is just why he carries on that way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's the last Dumbledore.
It does make me wonder how he felt or responded or reacted right after he found out that Albus died. You know, like I know he still harbored a lot of anger, but grief's really complicated.
Well, he was at the funeral, I think, because I think Harry was noticing all the people, and he said the barman from the Hogshead.
Mm-hmm.
So while he has all of it, I think he clearly helped Albus. He was part of the First Order of the Phoenix and an ally to the Second Order of the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Dumbledore always went to the Hogshead where he wanted to do interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and the entire secrets of Dumbledore, everybody's.
Yeah, that's the thing I felt like, and I think you're going to say this anyway. The secrets of Dumbledore is all right here. We've already had the secrets of Dumbledore. So when they announced the title of the movie, I was like,
well, we got
what
it.
more is there to know? We already have it.
But some of that had to do with Credence, which was not in this.
Yeah. Which was not, I guess.
Aurelius. Sorry.
So it's the secrets of Aberforth Dumbledore, I guess.
Yeah.
Didn't
specify which Dumbledore. It just it's the last name.
They also didn't talk about that later, like in interviews or anything.
Right.
It's fine. But Harry says he was never free. He talks about Albus. And that gets Aberforth to say to help them.
Yeah.
He's like, we've got to get into Hogwarts, whether you help us or not.
And then he does.
And then Neville Longbottom.
Yeah.
Moving on, chapter 29, The Lost Diadem.
Neville looks kind of rough in the picture in my book.
Always. Yep.
This is what I kind of imagine Sirius Black looked like as a kid.
With the black eye and everything.
He was kind of shaggy and kind of scuffed up.
Is this the best form of the Room of Requirement?
So when you say the best form of the Room of Requirement, like, are we talking all of the book versions of the Room of Requirement?
Probably movies. I think Hogwarts Legacy doesn't count because it's customizable.
Yes. I mean, obviously, I think that one's the best for me. But no, I personally really liked Dumbledore's Army of Room of Requirement. But I think that's because I liked kind of the mirrors and the vibe and just the place to practice. But the version with all of the clutter stresses me the heck out. Couldn't do it. This one was hard for me to envision any other way but how the movie did it, and it just kind of seemed like a refugee camp. I
like it. Like a pirate ship.
Like the hammocks everywhere and
like
pillars
a ship.
And yeah.
It's fun. It's like a clubhouse.
Yeah. They're hiding away trying to survive.
I feel like the the correct answer we have not said, which is the loo that Dumbledore found when he really needed to go to the bathroom. And Dumbledore, I think it might be a retcon. Again, I can't believe we're bringing Secrets of Dumbledore so much today because they go to the room of requirement. That whole scene is weird, actually, in hindsight. So the room of requirement can just transport you anywhere if you ask it to. Would Malfoy have not thought of that? What was that? It was just like a big vase.
Yeah, I'm struggling to remember. I need to go back and rewatch it. I didn't remember that was the room of requirement. When you said that, I was like, oh yeah, it was.
Yeah, because they go, what is this? And then Newt says, the room we require.
Mm-hmm.
But Dumbledore's not supposed to know what the room of requirement is, but there's no evidence that he doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the David and Spencer of this argument. It's just, that scene's weird. Now that I think about it.
Yeah.
Like, that would have been so helpful in this
I
part
think that there's still so much that we don't understand about the room of requirement that it's not that you couldn't think of it, but it's more of a I wouldn't know what to ask of it because like I can't conceptualize what it's capable of doing. And so that's where I feel like Malfoy would sit. Like in the clutter room, he had all the stuff and was just trying to find something that worked, but I don't know that he thought to ask for anything different.
And I love we get this summary of kind of what happened in the school year, and how they use the coins to keep communicating. And I don't know where it is, but Neville talks about, well, they couldn't get any food, though. That seems to be the only thing they can't do. And then Ron goes, that's because of so-and-so's law of transfiguration. And Hermione's like, I'm going to marry this man right now.
Right.
Right now. But I like that they couldn't figure out, and him and Ginny and Luna would sneak out and put graffiti up. Dumbledore's army is still recruiting. That's really fun. Just a ton of people. Dumbledore's army's gotten bigger.
I honestly, the fake galleons was a brilliant idea.
Funny story. Parents side note. We were talking about baby names.
Yeah.
Just as a fun exercise, because some friends of ours, mutual friends of Abby and I, are having a baby. Happy birthday to their child in the future.
For a minute, I was like, oh my gosh, wait, who is it? Never mind.
Well, I'm not saying who it is because it's too early.
I've known who it is. I just blanked for a second.
But we love you guys, and happy future birthday to your child.
Yep. Let's name it right now.
Yeah. Well, they told me what the name was.
Jana. Oh. Bleep it.
He's gonna miss it. It's fine.
No. Anyways, I was told some potential baby names, but I didn't know that one had been settled on.
Anyway, they set me and Isabel on a conversation of baby names, and something came up, and I said, "Oh, that reminds me of Hermione," and then I started thinking,
do they know what the gender is? I didn't think they did.
No.
Yet. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Never mind.
So then I started talking about Harry Potter names as a joke, and I said Neville. And I said, there's actually famous people named Neville. Because of Neville Longbottom, all of those have been pushed to the wayside. And then I said Seamus, and then Isabel said, we can't name our kid Seamus. That would be a shame on us. That would shame us. And I was like, that was really good. 10 out of 10. Anyway, that's because that's what I thought of when I saw Seamus on here.
I still get blown away by lavender brown. Those are two colors. I think she ran out of
I feel bad that I just now thought of that.
Yeah.
I mean, Dean Thomas, it's two first names.
Yeah. I always liked Penelope Clearwater. I would never name my child that.
Well, that's the coolest name. That's one of the coolest names in the series.
Yeah. And it gets used. Poor Penelope. She probably got in so much trouble so often. Did
she end up with Percy? What happened there?
I don't remember. We'll have to do some digging. I think
Yeah.
she did.
You can dig if you so desire.
Not really. It's Percy.
You're right. He shows up.
He does.
In a minute.
Just a little late, but.
I like Ron finally is like, hey, we can bring them in. He's like, we don't know where it is. We gotta find it fast. We don't have to tell them it's a Horcrux. And I think it's finally time to kind of open up it, you know. We get some. This is a Ravenclaw moment, one of very few, and so I feel like the Ravenclaws of the Harry Potter world and fans kind of get their moment to shine, where they're all interacting together, which seems to also never happen. Because like we have Luna and we've met Cho and we've met Michael. We've never seen all these people together. Terry Boot's also there, and Padma. And so they're all talking together, and Michael's like, yeah, but the lost diadem is lost. Like, it's funny that we have like whimsical, silly, but knowledgeable Luna, but then we also have Michael, who's like more of a pragmatist. And then we have Cho that's like just filling in more gaps. Harry just cuts across Luna's about Raxburg siphons.
I don't know if I should be offended or not. I took a personality test for characters a while back, and every time I take it, it says that my top Harry Potter character that I'm most like
Lavender Brown,
Cho Chang. And I'm like, I feel like she had barely any personality.
Yeah, I used to be a fan of Cho Chang, and I've moved on. I think
it's just because she's sweet and quiet and just tries to be helpful, but
she's kind of dramatic too, though.
That is true.
I mean, I think Ginny's just where it's at, and Luna, and Hermione for that matter. I love the Ravenclaw common room. I don't know if I'll ever finish Hogwarts Legacy and replay it, but if I did, I think I'd go into Ravenclaw just because those are the common rooms that I haven't seen. Like, I don't know about you, but I had no desire to play as a Gryffindor because I'm like, the Gryffindor in Hogwarts Legacy is the exact same common room as the movies.
Yep. Like,
to a T.
Yep.
I'm still mad that the common rooms serve almost no purpose at all.
Fair. It really didn't. There wasn't much to do.
It's like, woo! I've walked around it twice and I'm done.
But like, what were your expectations for the common room?
I don't know. It's Hogwarts Legacy, for all that it is also just like a Harry Potter sandbox that you can walk around.
I mean,
it's like a Hogwarts simulator.
Love that. I kind of loved it.
I loved it for 5 days.
Yeah. You don't have to love it for a year. You just enjoy it for a little bit.
Yeah. I guess so. I just feel like and maybe this is a bad Harry Potter thing to say, but I feel like I should have waited till the price dropped or something. I don't think it was worth the $60 odd or whatever on release. I might have gotten a deal, but still.
Yeah.
It's okay. Some people love that game. I think they should take the map and then they should just do the Harry Potter movies. Do the Harry Potter books in game form. Skip the reboot. Just do a video game adaptation of Harry Potter. That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
And then you do all the missions are written out, all the stories are written out, it's all there. I mean, you won't cast a spell. The beans.
The beans.
Gather the beans. Well, I was going to say, Harry doesn't cast a spell in the first book, so it'd be a really boring first video game. The first installment or whatever. They'd have to put in lots of... You have to put lots of beans.
Lots of beans.
I'm going to go dual Draco. Don't forget the beans.
I don't understand the significance of the beans.
Listeners that aren't...
don't even remember.
That have no idea what we're talking about.
Go back and watch our video games episode.
I don't remember what the heck that game. What was it? Goblet of Fire.
Yes, it was Goblet of Fire.
The Quidditch game was so much better.
Yeah.
And then Hogwarts Legacy is
but I'm still
probably the best.
convinced that the character Harry Potter was made to be faster than all the other characters because that was ridiculous.
It was something. Hogwarts Legacy should have had Quidditch, but that would have been really hard to develop.
Fair.
But I think Hogwarts Legacy is probably the best. And then Lego Harry Potter.
I mean, they already have FIFA. I don't know that it would be that hard to like. I say that like I know how to make video games. I don't. It's probably really complicated. But they have the technology for FIFA. I feel like you just take that and just broomsticks and Quidditch games.
I think you're not appreciating the fact that FIFA players are on the ground, and then they only jump up to like 3 or 4 feet.
And then they
go back to the ground.
But you just make it look like.
But then no, you're adding an element of going up and down instead of just going left and right. And it's also hockey rules; like you can go anywhere.
I mean, fair. But I have seen a lot of FIFA moments.
It could be
where
done.
Players feel like they go everywhere.
I meant like around the goalposts and around the stadium and
in the fans. You know?
Yeah, it could be done. I'm not saying it couldn't be done. It's just it's probably more difficult.
It's difficult, but I feel like we're on the track to making it happen. Just nobody's doing it.
We need to finish this up, but I do want to note for the Ravenclaw fans, is Ravenclaw's entryway the best like get into the common room gimmick?
I mean, probably because Hufflepuff's is just a barrel. And Slytherin's just goes like, boom.
Slytherin's a password. Is it not?
I feel like I just remember seeing in the screen, like, the wall almost looks like it peels up.
But I think you still have to say a password for Slytherin.
Well, yeah.
And then the fat lady. I mean, the fat lady's kind of iconic.
Right. Are you talking about what they have, like having to complete like a riddle?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's.
I would hate it. No, don't get me wrong. This is why.
I think you're talking about looks wise. I was like, maybe.
Oh no.
Because Hufflepuff's is just a barrel to get in.
No, I think yeah.
No, entrance wise, yeah, the riddle's pretty cool.
No, I think this is a pretty boring entrance. It's just a door, but yeah. I don't know. Hufflepuff's is fun. It's like Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, like it's fun. I would never. This is why I couldn't be in Ravenclaw. I'd be in the hallway all the time. Because you get just like one shot to give it an answer that it would like.
Mm-hmm.
But I love that. I don't know. You've got to answer a question, said Luna. What if you get it wrong? Well, you have to wait for somebody who gets it right. That way you learn. See? Yeah, trouble is we can't really afford to wait for anyone else. Oh, I see what you mean. Well, then I think the answer is that a circle has no beginning. Well reasoned.
It makes me wonder, though, if that's one of those questions where there wasn't one right answer. As long as you could justify your answer and it made sense, it was going to be fine.
That's what I like about it.
Yeah.
With Beyond Measure's Man's Greatest Treasure, of course, Voldemort has sent somebody there. It's kind of sad that we miss this whole thing.
Yeah.
In the movies, but it's fine.
Because they do talk about how awful the Carrows are, but then you never really see them doing anything.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
They don't do much in the book anyway.
I don't need to see them torture people, but I'm just saying they were barely in the movie, whereas I would have liked to have seen like a little bit of a
They're just creepy people.
Rather than Snape just going whoosh, and then they're done.
Yeah.
He Indiana Jones them like a whip.
He did. Actually, he went and took their wands. Someone noticed that. On his way out, he took the wands.
He did.
Which they didn't have. I like that scene in the movie. I think this one's not as fun.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I like seeing Snape versus Flitwick and
Oh yeah,
McGonagall.
McGonagall.
Luna's like, I've never stumped anyone except in our DA lessons. Well, first of many. I like that McGonagall is having this whole fake. She's just so mean to the Carrows. Just not even mean. She's just annoying because that's all she can be. And so, certainly, if you wish it, where do vanished objects go? Into non-being, which is to say, everything. Nicely phrased. Because of course, McGonagall. There is smart Gryffindors out there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, then Amicus suggests that they should blame the kids on pushing the mark when Harry's not there. And so then McGonagall says, I will not permit you to punish the students. You're not going to pass off your many ineptitudes on the students of Hogwarts. I shall not permit it. And then he spits in her face.
I know. And Harry like loses it.
Which he should.
Right.
It's such a good, it's insane.
I love how she's like, that was very gallant of you. But do you realize?
I just love Harry going, you shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair game. They're all fair game at this point.
I love that he said, yeah.
I see what Bellatrix meant. You really need to mean it.
Yep. Kind of a mic drop moment. You're like, boom. Got it.
Yeah, it is very good.
I love that they describe McGonagall as like clutching her heart. Oh, she just seems so dramatic to me.
She is. She's very dramatic.
She is.
Always been. Always has been. Always will be. Where are the Carrows? Where have you told them to be? I expect, Severus.
Well, I just love that Professor McGonagall, Voldemort's on the way, and Luna just out of the blue said, "Oh, are we allowed to say his name now?" I love her character. She's just so funny.
They don't use it in the movies. McGonagall has a real name, the actress's name, Dame Maggie Smith. She goes, and his name is Voldemort. You might as well use it. He's gonna try to kill you either way. That was a really big mic drop moment. She gets a bunch of them in the movie and in the book. Have you seen Harry Potter Minerva? Because if you have, I must insist, Professor McGonagall moved faster than Harry could have believed. It's just wild. It's a great duel.
I know. I love reading and seeing fights like with wands without them talking. Like there's no non-verbal. Like I remember Dumbledore and Voldemort did it at the end of Order of the Phoenix in the movies, and it was just epic. They weren't yelling or anything. It was just like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you see it here too. I just think that's really cool.
Well, they do speak, but they speak like words, you know.
Right.
And just in case Ravenclaw's needed one more victory, no, squealed Flitwick, raising his wand. You'll do no more murder at Hogwarts. It's good. Yeah. And then just when he dives out the window, McGonagall says, as she says in the movie, "Coward, coward." It's really good stuff. I love that there's a Severus Snape-sized hole in the wall.
Yeah.
And it's fine that McGonagall says it in the movie, but Flitwick does say in the movie and the book, you realize, of course, that nothing we will do, we will be able to keep out you-know-who indefinitely. Professor Sprout says, but we can hold them up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pomona. A little Hufflepuff victories. There's a bunch of them.
How do we feel about Slughorn towards the end of all this?
I love it.
I feel like he's just kind of there.
I think he stays around and fights.
Oh, he does. But I feel like we just don't hear a lot from him.
Why would we, though? He doesn't have a role to play much in the story.
No.
And I feel like
we got a lot of Slughorn in the last movie. So having him appear, but then not hearing from him was just a little...
I like that she says Voldemort's on the way, and it just specifically says that Slughorn just groaned. It's like freaking Tom Riddle, man. I can't get away from this guy. I hate this kid that I taught.
So tired of him.
He sounds so tired and exhausted.
So many regrets.
And then, oh yeah, I love every time they ask McGonagall what happened to Severus. My dear boy, do explain. Severus, our headmaster is taking a short break.
Yeah.
Pointing at the Snape-shaped hole in the window. Where is it? I don't know where he's at, but Slughorn tries to have a conversation with McGonagall. Oh, okay. I'm not sure whether this is wise, Minerva. Anyone who has tried to delay him will be in most grievous peril, which he's not wrong.
Right.
I know everyone will groan about it, but he's kind of one of the only people speaking reason. And in a very Slytherin style, he is trying to save his own hide, but he is also thinking of the interests of others.
Right.
He's a good Slytherin. I shall expect you and the Slytherins in the Great Hall in 20 minutes. If any of you attempt to sabotage our resistance or take up arms within this castle, Horace, we duel to kill. Minerva.
I know. Also, the
time has come.
Out of bed. Students out of bed.
Yeah. Oh, for heaven's sake, Filch. Yeah.
They're supposed to be, you blithering idiot.
I just love this line. The time has come for Slytherin House to decide upon its loyalties.
Good line.
Of course, they all completely decide together, decide Voldemort.
Yeah.
And leave. Great. I just shout out all these characters that do make an appearance that don't really get to say things, but they've come back to the battle to support Harry, even though they've graduated.
Wood, man.
The entire Quidditch team. Oliver Wood, Katie Bell, Angelina Johnson, and Alicia Spinnet, Bill and Fleur, and Mr. and Mrs. Weasley. Is this when Ginny shows up?
Yes. Jenny's upset because her mom says she's underage and can't participate. She has to hide. And Jenny's like, I'm in Dumbledore's army. A teenager's gang.
Yes. I can't find where Ginny when Ginny does show up. Or does she show up before? I think she showed up before and we missed it. But like when she walks through the door of the passageway, Harry sees her with a pang, and it's like he never appreciated. Right. It says he never appreciated how beautiful she was and stuff.
Right. I remember that.
It's not a love triangle. Harry and Ginny are meant to be. Yep. It's so obvious. If he ever makes it out of this, Percy shows up. That's fine. It's a nice moment, I guess. Fred says, ministry-loving, family-disowning, power-hungry moron. Percy swallowed. Yes, I was. And then they just forgive him right away, because that's what Weasleys do.
We also didn't mention that Teddy Lupin was born. He has a bright tuft of turquoise hair.
That was in the last episode we talked about Teddy.
Well, yes, Lupin, but he's in this one too, but he showed him a picture in this one. Fleur asked who he was.
Poor Teddy.
I know. Still
Raced.
About it.
He had a Neville. Well, it's a parallel to Neville Longbottom. I feel like he kind of has the same path. Born to parents that resisted Voldemort and died, or basically died. Then grows up with his grandma.
Mm-hmm. For a minute, I was thinking about Harry. I was like, well, Harry's parents died.
Yeah,
Harry had a godfather.
Yeah,
but
and like
the living with the grandmother part's different.
And Neville's grandfather died too,
because
that's why he can see Thestrals.
Honestly, they mentioned Ted Tonks dying in just like a brief section, and I always forget about it. And it's just sad.
Yeah.
Because
he was on the run.
Her husband and her daughter, and her son-in-law, all in a span of.
And gains a grandson.
Yes, and gains a grandson.
And it's like really sad because if you think about it, and the only reason that Dean didn't die when he was in that group was because he knew Harry Potter.
Yep.
And I guess Griphook was spared because he was a goblin.
Yeah.
I don't remember the reason he was spared, but he was there because the plot needed him to be.
Mm-hmm.
But Dean made it, and Dean's a cool character. I wish we could have gotten more of Dean.
Yeah.
I was never
lot.
There's a lot of headcanon about. There's some headcanon stuff about him because he's Muggle-born, but his father left him when he was very young, and his mother, who's a Muggle. So there's some decent argument, but he could never prove it, which is why he went on the run. That his mother is, that his father was a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no way to prove it. So
right.
He was the one with the football players on the wall that wouldn't move.
Mm-hmm.
But that closes out this episode. We have a bombastic, insane finale to cover next week. And so hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Abby and I will for sure be there, listeners. We will carry us through this.
We take an act of God.
Yeah, I guess Abby, if Cole doesn't come, then Abby's going to host the finale episode of both Deathly Hallows and this season of the podcast. So I appreciate you guys bearing with us through all the craziness and all the fun. Please send us your thoughts about the Deathly Hallows. We're less active on the Instagram than we used to be, but HP_fanatics, YouTube, comment, and then showrequirement@gmail.com. Those are the ways you can contact us. If you have thoughts, please send them. Tell your friends, share it with your friends. We have a bunch of great Harry Potter content on here. So for Abby and myself, this has been another episode of the Show of Requirement, Mischief Managed.